Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. The April KCC box is dropping and bringing in with it new themes and support for older themes. The new themes this time are Therion and Union as playable decks. The older decks getting support are Rika, Earth Machine, Destiny Hero and Dragon Maid. The generic cards in this box are the reprint of Finalbringer and basically DPE. DPE was a massively popular card in the TCG and can be splashed into other decks as well. That was due to its accessibility though, because the TCG had Verta Anaconda at that point in time, so every deck could just play normally, just to link off two monsters at the end of their combos for it and get the benefits of DP. You normally send Dasher and Celestial to the graveyard, giving you a free special summon of the monsters you draw in draw phase, and a draw 2 if you empty your hand. Duel Links doesn't have that, but instead has the Precious Cards and Mystical Elf skills, combined with a lower deck count, also increasing your chance of seeing Fusion Destiny. So it remains to be seen how big its impact will be. Besides that, if you opened the Finalbringer selection box, don't want to build any of the mentioned decks, or don't have to go into the box because you don't have any expiring gems, the box can be skipped or at least delayed. There's an upcoming KC Cup and the community titled Rank 8 Slop has a very big target on its back. Rank 8 Slop is an engine that basically consists of a combination of Photon Lord, Hope Harbinger, Dragluxion, Primal Dragon and Tachyon Transmigration, which build the endboard for multiple decks in some shape or form. Examples include Punk, Rebecca Dragons, Galaxy Eyes, Tachyon, Blue Eyes and even Thunder Dragon. From now on, this list will also include Therion. Both of their main deck monsters, Regulus and Lily Borea, as well as other monsters within their archetype, are level 8. Their skill also benefits from you splashing Dragluxion because it triggers your second part of the skill if you summon a Primal Turbo on its board. And the deck can also play a ton of tax because its engine is very compact and consistent, while not being particularly hard to play either. This deck will become a high-tiered deck, and it will take a lot of spots at the top 100, possibly even multiple top 10 spots. The next deck to talk about is Destiny Hero. Going first, the board is absolutely insane, because DPE is basically searchable with the skill and Fusion Destiny does not prevent you from playing afterwards, like it does in other decks. This way you can even use its effect to dodge effect negation like Effect Veiler and Infinite Impermanence. You end on DPE, an untargetable Plasma, and Dystopia, which is a quick effect pop. Unlike Therion, this deck might not be able to have an impact immediately though, since the rank 8 slop decks end on Hope Harbinger and Transmigration and your skill requires you to start your turn off with your fusion summons, so your other effects are not negated. This deck will not be able to play going second if you don't include a lot of hand traps to stop your opponent from setting up spell negates. ABC has been a fan favorite deck since its release in the TCG, and now it's finally getting their Duel Links debut with an exclusive skill, recent help from the banlist unhitting stuff like Cyber Dragon Infinity, and relatively recent support in the form of retrains of X, Y and Z. The endboards going first can look like this. Unfortunately, the skill locks the deck out of playing Regulus, which it did in the TCG. It would have been a very strong addition otherwise, because Regulus can equip Union monsters from the graveyard and those monsters can use their effects in the spell trap zone to special summon themselves, making Regulus an extender even though it's already an endboard piece in form of an Omni Negate. But maybe some people will experiment with Precious Cards of the Light to draw into non-engine because the Union spells and traps are unfortunately rather useless to break boards. Rika saw a lot of success in the TCG, especially in Europe, so many TCG players may have some memories of it, even if not all of them fond probably. Rika cannot be splashed well with Sun Avalon right now, because Aroma Seraphi Jasmine is not in the game. It remains to be seen if Rika will find any success besides on ladder, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Players tend to not read, and this deck is really good against players that don't read because the field spell is really strong. Rika will also make use of Therion cards and end on boards like this. Dragon Maid did receive a skill overhaul, giving some quality of life changes to the already existing skill that help your card economy and make you brick less. Its going first board also looks really solid. Unfortunately, the lists right now have only 6 to a maximum of 9 tech spots going second, and that might be problematic. Keep in mind that Filia Regis will be a free-to-play card from ranking rewards. Earth Machine also gains new support with Regulus and the release of Alistair as a playable character, finally giving them access to Metal Cruncher. If I had to rank the decks from the new box, I would put Therion above everything else. It's a guaranteed tier 1 deck, maybe even the only tier 1 deck pushing Traptrix to tier 2 status. The other decks unfortunately don't really come close to Therion. I can see the other new box decks having potential and maybe settling into tier 3 or even tier 2 eventually, but in the end they will fall short of tier 1 unless Abundus post KC Cup hits the rank 8 engine. So if you go into the new box, how often do you need the ultra rares so you can reset early and save some gems? I've come across a graphic depicting this and I agree for the most part. The only thing I disagree with is the amount of DPE. I think for safety reasons you want to own a second copy for Destiny Hero decks, because if you go up against Traptrix, they have an easy way of getting it out of your graveyard, so you might want a second copy for that. With that out of the way, let's finally start opening the box. So let's see how many boxes we can open with around 14,000 gems and 5,000 crystals. So in the end, we were able to open 2 boxes. And from the ultra rare deals, we also got a third copy of X-Cross Cannon. So ABC is completed. Unfortunately, Fusion Destiny was the last ultra rare in the box twice in a row. But in the first box, we went down to 24 packs before the reset. In the second box, we went down to 4 packs. So all in all, we saved around 1400 gems on the first 2 boxes. And we have to subtract 400 from the bundles, because the bundles basically cost the same as the packs, but you use 100 more gems for the bundle cards. Because of the KC Cup and the current events, there are a lot of free gems in the game right now, so I will open the box during the course of the next week. Alright, and that's it for today. See you guys, bye.